The basic principles of safeguarding will apply in any situation. Of course, every ELT organisation must make its own decisions on the details of how it safeguards. There will be differences. The organisation must think about the type of campus it has, the location, and also the age of students that it's looking after. Details will therefore vary depending on each ELT organisation. And as we mentioned later in the course, it's very important that you know about the details of the ELT organisation you're working with. There are, however, some general safeguarding things that every organisation does. And here are some examples of procedures that most ELT organisations use. They will have welfare and safeguarding staff available to sort out problems for students, resolve problems, and make sure the students are happy in their life outside the classroom. There will be trained first aid staff available. ELT organisations will send parents and students information before they sign up to a course or before they arrive, and the information will tell them about how they're going to be looked after, levels of care, levels of supervision. The information will also tell them what to bring when they come on the course and about UK laws. They will also collect from the parents medical and behavioural information on the children. Organisations must know this so that they can properly look after each and every child when they arrive, particularly if the child has any special needs. Another very important point is that organisations will have a clear and easy system for gathering information about students so that every adult working with the under 18s can easily inform the welfare or safeguarding staff about any concerns they have if they think the child is unhappy or has a problem. All adults have a responsibility to keep those safeguarding and welfare staff informed about whatever they see, anything that causes them a little concern. That's part of their duty of care responsibility. Thinking of other examples of how ELT organisations keep their students safe, well, for one thing, ELT organisations follow safer recruitment procedures, part of which is to get a police check to make sure that the person who is going to be working with the children is the right sort of person to do that job. There will be school rules, curfew times. All of these things help keep students safe. Students will be issued with ID cards, and those will have a 24-hour emergency contact number on them. So if a student ever has a problem at any time of day or night, they can get in touch and get help from the school. The ELT organisation will also have an attendance policy. It's very important that under 18 students come to all the scheduled classes and activities. If they don't turn up on time, if they are missing, then the organisation must have written procedures on how they will look into that, try and locate the student, find out what's happening. The organisation has the responsibility. They must know where their under 18 students are. There will be supervision ratios. How many adults can look after how many students? Probably the organisation we'll have some information about how students should behave online. These days, that's a very important factor. Keeping young people safe online is a major challenge, and the ELT organisation will provide guidance on what the students should do and shouldn't do. Contextual safeguarding. That means keeping the students safe when they are not on the campus, when they're away from the campus. Well, of course, ELT organisations are thinking about that all the time with the international students when they go out on excursion or the journey between the campus and the homestays if they're staying in a homestay. There's a lot of local knowledge that ELT organisations have as well. What's going on in town this weekend? Is there a big football match? Or maybe there's a big parade or carnival? Do we need to tell our students about that? All of that is contextual safeguarding. One of the methods used to keep children safe is through risk assessments. Risk assessments are the documents which show that the organisation have thought about the hazards and the risks involved for the students, and then having identified those, they also explain how they will reduce the risks. So they are used on the campus, for buildings, for the grounds on the campus, and they're used for off-campus, for excursions, and as we've already said, for the journey between campus and homestay. Risk assessments are part of UK health and safety law. They're very important. The ELT organisation are obliged to produce risk assessments, and staff and adults working with the organisation are obliged to follow them. So staff, group leaders must follow the risk assessments that they are shown. Often the risk assessments help the organisation produce their rules or their safety guidelines. When they see that something is a bit risky, they introduce guidelines to make them safer, and those become part of school rules. All adults, staff, homestays, group leaders can help the students understand that the reason the rules are there, the reason they have to follow the rules, is to keep them safe. And because it is the ELT organisation who have the duty of care to safeguard the students well.